Thanks for staying with us. Segment number 2 with Jennifer Fierro, your broad podcaster, and Art Dlugach, the voice of the Llano Yellow Jackets, for our weekly conversation on what's happening in sports, usually around the Highland Lakes. We're going to change things up. This segment, we're going to talk a lot of baseball, and that's because the college NCAA Division I baseball playoffs are happening. Actually, I think the baseball playoffs on the collegiate level in all three, the Division I, Division II, 1, 2A, everybody is playing right now in the playoffs. But this weekend were the regional tournaments. And while Texas and Texas A&M survived the regionals to advance to super regionals this weekend, there were some teams that as a born and bred Texan and Texas sports writer who spends a lot of time around high school athletes, I have to admit that even with these three teams that lost, I can't help but be really proud of them. In fact, I'm so proud that I'm wearing this shirt, this color, for Texas State. And the fact that they took Stanford to 3 games in Stanford, on Stanford's home field, it took Stanford, they had to, Texas State beat Stanford the first time they played them, 5-2, to stay in the winner's bracket. Stanford had to beat them on Sunday night to force a third game, an elimination winner-take-all game. And Stanford beat Texas State 8-4, and then came back, bottom of the ninth inning, trailing 3-1. Stanford had to hit back-to-back home runs to tie the game at 3-3, and then hit a walk-off to score the winning run in the bottom of the ninth inning.
Walk-off single.
So I can't help. I'm just so proud of this Texas State team, even as a Texas fan, because Texas State gave UT everything we wanted and more. But to see this Texas State team go on the road and take on a traditional, what I consider to be one of the great baseball programs in college sports.
Absolutely, 2-time national champion.
And to be able to win there once and then put them on the ropes.
Yes.
Just needed 3 outs to eliminate Stanford. Says a lot about Stanford and how tough they are mentally. But I still can't help but praise Texas State for everything they accomplished and how close they came to really sending a ripple effect in the sport all weekend.
And I'll bet not many people know the name of Stanford's field where they play. I won't tease you with this because it would be pretty much impossible. Sunken Diamond.
I would have cheated. It's right here.
Okay.
On my computer, I would have cheated.
All right. I didn't cheat. I've lived through that 28 years.
Well,
working out there.
People who know me know I'm not above that. I take every tool I possibly can.
That's all right.
The other thing, we mentioned that A&M also is hosting a regional. Texas A&M is welcoming Louisville. Game 1 is Friday on ESPNU at 7:30. Game 2 is at 2 o'clock on Saturday on ESPN2. And if Game 3 is necessary, those details will be announced once everything else plays out, if you will, during Game 2 or right after Game 2.
2 outstanding athletic programs there, both
Yes.
The Cardinals and the Aggies.
Yes, they are. We just talked about Texas going to East Carolina. They were playing on ESPN2 at 11 o'clock Friday and Saturday. ESPN2, 11 a.m. local time. In order for A&M to get to the Super Regional, though, they had to defeat TCU. And they beat them 15-9 in order to eliminate the Horned Frogs and end their season. What I found interesting there, the A&M coach, he's in his first year at Aggie Land. You know what his previous job was in 2021? TCU.
Oh my gosh.
But I did notice that. I knew that when that coaching change was made a year ago. I knew that and thought this will be very interesting because TCU I believe they promoted one of his assistants to be the head coach there with the Horned Frogs now. So I'm sure there were some mixed feelings there, left and right.
Well, look at all those outstanding Texas teams we're talking about. You were big on Texas State, Texas A&M, and TCU.
Yeah, and we haven't even gotten to Texas Tech yet.
And Texas Tech.
Yeah, Texas Tech, they had their season end in the Notre Dame Regional, lost to the Irish, listen to this, 3-2 and 2-1. And this one I looked at a little more because as a Texas fan, there's a lot of chatter, if you will,
yes,
between Texas fans and Texas Tech fans right now and going back and forth. From what I read, Texas Tech is super happy with their pitching. Obviously, you give up 3 runs in one game and 2 runs in another, and you lose by a single run in each one. In my mind, your pitching and defense is where it needs to be. The big issue for the Texas Tech fan base right now is run support.
And I don't think you usually find that good of pitching. Usually the offense is a little bit ahead of the defense in college baseball.
Yeah, and I agree with you there. That 3-2, 2-1 scores, those are, to me, are softball scores. I see those kinds of scores in softball
Yes.
more than I do in baseball. So hats off to Texas Tech. And again, I just want to say this as somebody who spends a lot of time, we both spend a lot of time on high school sidelines, watching high school athletes. What these results say to me, with the vast majority of these rosters made up of Texas high school kids, that is a testament to Texas high school athletic programs and baseball coaches throughout the state and how fantastic these kids are when they get to that level.
And Kimball Schusler, who began at Texas A&M and is now at Texas, outstanding catcher from Llano High School.
Yeah, another testament, and that's what I mean. We know some great high school coaches and have met some great high school baseball coaches over the years. What a testament. What a testament and what these players have been able to accomplish on the collegiate level with these particular coaches on the collegiate level and how they have helped Texas baseball just shine brightly across the country this weekend.
Well, gosh, you've had a legend at Marble Falls where the field is now named after him.
He spent his entire career there, Ronnie Scares.
Yes, and one of my all-time favorite human beings, as well as Coach Todd Doucette of Llano, who's also coached at Murnet.
Yeah, and we probably at some point may be able to ask Todd, because talking about legends, here's one that's coming up through the ranks of minor league baseball. His name is Brett Beatty. Brett Beatty is the son of Leslie and Clint Beatty, who both used to work at Marble Falls ISD. Well, Brett is at one of the he's with the New York Mets farm system, and he is working his way up to the majors. At some point, maybe I should reach out to Todd Doucette and say, what do you remember about young Brett Beatty?
Well, and Justin Lang, first round draft choice of the San Diego Padres, and just recently, I'd say within 6 months ago or so, traded to the Yankees.
Wow. So
the farm system right now, for sure.
Yeah. So, man, it's just a great time. If you are a baseball fan, this is a great time to be watching baseball. And if you love Texas sports the way that Art and I do, there's plenty to be proud of from these fine athletes and these outstanding programs and these outstanding coaches.
Blanco had an outstanding season. Blanco High School, for sure, and Maddox Green, son of athletic director Matt Green, had a great year as a pitcher for the Jackets.
Mm-hmm.
He will not play college ball because he will attend Texas A&M.
Art, is there anything else you want to say before we close this segment out And we head on over. We still got to talk about Joey McGuire and Texas Tech.
Looking forward to that.
And some thoughts on professional golf. Anything else you want to add about baseball before we close this one out?
I think we've taken care of baseball for sure.
Segment number 2, we're going to wrap this one up. Before we close out, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share the channel. It would mean so much to me to see it grow. Anything you can do to help is much appreciated. That's a wrap on segment 2. I'm Jennifer Fierro, your broad podcaster. With this guy, Art Dlugach. Stay with us. Segment number 3 coming right up.